has won the right to rest peacefully in Texas waters.
Howdy and hello, I'm Travis Davis, Vice President of Ship Operations, Battleship Texas Foundation. It's been a hot minute since our last update, and well, we've been very busy. As we've said repeatedly to you all, we are a very small staff, and every person on our staff is focused solely on getting the ship ready to move, to head down the ship channel to Gulf Copper in Galveston, Texas. Gulf Copper is the shipyard that we're going to. We're focused on getting the ship there and getting the ship there safely. So we're a little sorry for the slow update. In fact, I had to drag producer Kyle in on his day off to come help me shoot this video, and well, I'm not quite sure what this day off thing is right now. I'm working on day number 8, and this is probably going to be about a 130-hour work week for me. So yeah, it's fun. But it's really exciting stuff. We really hope once we get post shipyard or into the shipyard that we can give you more details on what has gone on, like really in the weed stuff about what has gone on to get the ship ready to tow. But suffice it to say, we've installed something like we're close to 30 additional pumps right now, well over a half a mile of hose for those pumps. So we're probably pushing, last count, I think we're all in around 7,000 feet of hose. So that's about 3/4 of a mile. So yeah, and for every hose that has to get pulled, depending on the size, it's pretty back-breaking labor to get it down from main deck down to where that pump is, bends and turns and all that stuff, and you're dragging a hose that's 50 feet long or 25 feet long, and it takes a lot, and doing it in the Texas heat and humidity. This is an un-air conditioned ship, and it's all I gotta say is hats off to our crew, our small crew who have been busting their humps, our volunteers who have been supporting not only us and our salvers, but we want to thank our Resolve Marine, our salvage contractor that's aboard, who is working very hard alongside of us, and Valcor Energy Services, who's our project management and engineering company. They've all been doing a fantastic job, and I've got to say, this has been an all hands effort, and all hands have been performing admirably. That said, we do want to share with you that we will be slow in doing video updates until we are well established in the shipyard. And you know, as I just went through all the work that we've done to date and are still doing, a lot of that will have to be, all that vessel prep stuff will have to be undone in the shipyard. We have pumps on hire, equipment on hire that has to then come off the ship, so we're not paying those rental fees. So it's going to be hot and heavy, but as soon as we're able to, we will give you that premium dry dock content. And now for the big news of this video. On August 31st, 2022, Battleship Texas will be departing San Jacinto Battleground State Historic Site for the shipyard. That's right. After 32 years, Battleship Texas will be getting underway again. I say air quotes because she's being towed, right? So what does that mean? Well, one, the ship will be leaving San Jacinto in the early morning hours of the 31st. So we are trying to maximize the amount of daylight time that the tow is in. So that means we will start pulling the ship out of the ship channel shortly before dawn, with the goal of being in the ship channel, making up to the lead tug, and heading down channel shortly after daybreak. Now, what that means is the state park doesn't open until 9 in the morning. The park will stay closed during that time. We're not opening the park. Our partners at Texas Historical Commission are not opening the park. And we're doing that for a couple of reasons. One, that specific reason that the park doesn't open until 9, but also, and much more importantly, the park is really not set up to handle the volume of people that we're expected that would want to come see the ship leave here. As it is, the parking lot where the ship is at only has enough parking for about 230 cars. So if you've seen the big festivals here at San Jacinto, there's a lot of parking on grass and things like that. Well, to do that for here, considering, again, it's pre-dawn hours, people would have to be walking in the dark with cars coming in and trying to park. And we just don't think that's a safe environment, and we don't have the resources to support setting up light towers and providing pedestrian monitors and things like that, and parking cars to facilitate that. Because at the end of the day, our focus is on safely getting the ship out of San Jacinto and to the shipyard, the safe tow of the ship. And that's all of our partners, whether it's the Coast Guard, Texas Historical Commission, who runs San Jacinto Battleground, Texas Parks and Wildlife, who owns the ship, ourselves, who operate the ship. So, since you can't watch the ship leave here, and we're really saddened that you're not going to be able to. We really wanted to be able to do this. We just don't have the resources or the time to do it. Remember, I said we are a small staff. The optimal places to watch the ship go down the ship channel. And in my opinion, a better place to see the ship underway, with a bow wake on, making waves, would be Bayland Island in Baytown, Texas. So you see the ship come out into the Fred Hartman Bridge, and you see it for a good time. The Texas City Dike, where she'll pass reasonably close to, and you'll see her coming basically up over the horizon and then going, well, pretty much down to Seawolf Park, and then turning into the Galveston Ship Channel. And then Seawolf Park, where you can see her, again, coming up past the Texas City Dike. She'll be fairly close, making that turn into the Galveston Ship Channel, going by Seawolf Park and on up to Gulf Copper. And then the last place, and probably, depending on what you want to see, if you really want to see the ship in motion, again, Bayland Island, Texas City, Dike, and Seawolf Park are those places. If you kind of want to see the ship in motion, and a little bit of the ship in motion and the ship going into the dry dock, then Pier 21 is the place to be. Pier 21 is right across the Galveston Ship Channel from Gulf Copper Shipyard, and where the ship will be going into dry dock. Now, that will be a very slow process to get the ship into the dock, and it's dependent on several factors. One is how well does the tow go. Our intent is to take the ship straight into the dry dock. If unfortunately there are issues that delay the ship coming down, we're not able to get in during daylight hours, into the dry dock in daylight hours, then we will go to a lay berth and stay overnight in a lay berth, and then dry dock the ship in the next morning. Again, our focus is on the safety of the ship and the safety of the people around the ship and on the ship during this move. Once the ship goes into dry dock, it will be several hours to get the ship positioned onto the blocks, to make sure everything is great before fully pumping out the dock and bringing the ship on up out of the water. It will likely be the very early morning hours that the ship is finally out of the water on September 1st. We're talking 0 dark 30. It will be very early that morning that happens. So if you're unable to go to any of these places, you're unable to travel to Texas and experience the lovely August heat and humidity, the best place to watch the ship being underway is on our YouTube channel, this channel right here. On Facebook and Instagram, we will be doing YouTube Live as the ship leaves here, and at those various locations we talked about as the ship goes down the ship channel. Depending on how busy we are, we might be able to do some updates, live updates from the ship. That is not our priority. I can't stress that enough. It is not our priority to give live updates from the ship during the tow. We know you guys want to have that content. You want to see it. We want to share it. But our focus is the safety of the ship during the tow. Now that I've stressed that, you can still follow us along. That we'll be giving updates on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram during that day, and then keep following us on those media outlets, as well as we're going to give more and more updates as we can. It's a little bit easier to get textual updates out than it is video. We don't have to edit anything, and none of us have to stop what we're doing to shoot a video. So please follow us there. If you haven't already, subscribe to us, like the video, and we'll see you on the other side of the dry dock.
Come on!